In this video, we will discuss finding the standard deviation. The deviation from the mean of a data value is the difference between a specific value and the mean. To find the deviations from the mean, first find the mean of the data set. We'll look at this set here, 38, 43, 45, 44. The mean of the data set, x bar, is the sum of the data values divided by the number of values, or sigma xi divided by n. So here, x bar is 38 plus 43 plus 45 plus 44, all divided by 4. That's 170 over 4, which is 42.5. Then find the amount that each data value deviates or is different from the mean. The deviation from the mean is equal to the data value minus the mean, or xi minus x bar. So 38 minus 42.5 is negative 4.5. 43 minus 42.5 is 0.5. 45 minus 42.5 is 2.5. And 44 minus 42.5 is 1.5. If a data value is smaller than the mean, the deviation associated with that value will be negative. If the value is greater than the mean, the deviation will be positive. The absolute value of the sum of the deviations below the mean will be equal to the sum of the deviations above the mean. The sum of all deviations from the mean is 0. Find the deviations from the mean of the data set 45, 63, 87, 91. Here, x bar is equal to 45 plus 63 plus 87 plus 91 divided by 4, which is 286 divided by 4, so that is 71.5. The deviations, 45 minus 71.5 is negative 26.5, 63 minus 71.5 is negative 8.5, 87 minus 71.5 is 15.5, and 91 minus 71.5 is 19.5. The standard deviation is a statistical measure that uses the square of each deviation from the mean. The square of a negative value is always positive. The sum of the squared deviations is divided by one less than the number of values, and the result is called the sample variance. Sample variance equals V equals the sum of xi minus x bar quantity squared all over n minus 1. The square root of the variance is the standard deviation. So the sample standard deviation is equal to S, which is equal to the square root of the sum of xi minus x bar squared all over n minus 1. To find the standard deviation of a set of sample data, first find the mean, x bar, then find the deviation of each value from the mean, xi minus x bar. Then square each deviation, xi minus x bar quantity squared. Find the sum of the squared deviations, that's the sum of xi minus x bar quantity squared. Divide the sum of the squared deviations by one less than the number of values in the data set to find the sample variance. That's V equals the sum of xi minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. And finally, find the sample standard deviation by taking the square root of the sample variance. S equals the square root of the sum of xi minus x bar squared divided by n minus 1. Example, find the sample standard deviation to the nearest tenth for the values 45, 63, 87, and 91. From the previous exercise, we have the values and deviations. Now we just square those deviations and get a sum of 1,395. We find the variance by dividing that by the number of items in the set minus 1, so that's 4 minus 1 is 3. 1,395 divided by 3 is 465, and we take the square root of that to get the standard deviation. The square root of 465 rounded to the nearest tenth is 21.6. That is our sample standard deviation.